Minority Whip.
And Senator Bill Cassidy of Louisiana is my friend, my colleague. We work together, and he's a real doctor, a real doctor. And what I've read about your medical career is that you treated people with limited income, and I respect you so much for doing that. Thank you for all that. But I happen to disagree with your policy on this, and let me explain why. How far does $1,000 take you in medical bills? How far does $1,500 take you in medical bills? Well, I had a knee replacement last year. You know what the surgeon's bill was for that? $30,000. $1,000 doesn't take you very far in the 21st century. It didn't take you very far in the 20th century. And to have that as your fallback position to protect yourself, imagine a cancer diagnosis, a shocking cancer diagnosis. And you think, well, thank goodness I've got $1,000 in the bank for treatment for cancer. That isn't going to work. And to say that people are going to have money left over at the end of the day and this is what they really want doesn't reflect reality. I'd be happy to yield.
I didn't show the poster, but in our proposal, taking the 50-year-old couple with 2 kids, 19 and 20, their family would get $5,000 in their account, and the net deductible would be less than the silver plan that Democrats want. So, and the policy, the premium would be $6,000 less a year. So if the plan that my good friend, the Minority Whip, is saying is the better plan, has a higher net deductible, that I don't think works for the gentleman's knee replacement. And the family $5,000 deductible can be applied so you'd have $5,000 to stop. And I've taken too much time, but thank you for yielding.
No, I'm happy to yield. And we came perilously close to debate on the Senate floor by my recognition of you. Wouldn't it be something if we did this on a regular basis? Wouldn't it be something if we took this whole issue, the subject matter, and put it into a committee for a real hearing with experts where Democrats and Republicans sat at the same table? It'd be almost like the United States Senate used to be. It doesn't anymore. What I'm suggesting today is simple and direct. I met a waitress at a Chicago Loop restaurant for breakfast last Sunday. She's 63 years old and she spent her life as a waitress. It's taken its toll on her physically. She was in tears as she described to me what's going to happen to her if we fail to act the right way today on this legislation. She's going to see her health insurance bill more than double, $300 or $400 more per month. Let me tell you, she doesn't know how she can do it, and I don't either. That's what we got to address first. Triage, I'd say to my friend Senator Dr. Cassidy, triage is first, help these families pay for their premiums. And then let's do our job. Our job is to sit down and debate his idea, my idea, the ideas of the Senate, and to come up with an alternative that serves the needs of this nation. That's what the Senate is supposed to do. But this take it or leave it high noon strategy isn't fair. If at the end of the day we fail to help this waitress pay for her premiums and she loses her health insurance, I don't know what's going to happen next. This poor lady is working hard and she has every day of her life. Why we won't come to her rescue first and then get into this policy debate, I just don't understand. Mr. President, as members of the Senate, we cast votes, and many of them are routine, but there are votes that stay with us for decades. I will never forget voting for the Affordable Care Act. It was this time of year, December 24th, 2009, the Senate passed a bill that helped make health care affordable for millions of Americans. It was 8 years later, on a late night in 2017, the late Senator John McCain of Arizona came through those doors at 2 o'clock in the morning, stood in the well right by this table, and lifted his right arm as high as he could and came down with the thumbs no. With that, he saved the Affordable Care Act. That no vote sunk President Trump's first attempt to abolish the Affordable Care Act, and it gave peace of mind to millions of Americans who had come to rely on it. It's been more than 8 years since Senator McCain showed that courage, and 16 years since we passed the original bill. Yet once again, the Senate is about to take another vote on health care that will reverberate for decades throughout America. The question today is whether the Senate will extend the ACA's enhanced premium tax credits. What is that? In the tax code, it's a helping hand to pay your premium based on your family income. If we fail to extend these tax credits, that waitress I've described to you and 22 million Americans will begin to pay double or triple for their insurance in 3 weeks, including 500,000 people living in Illinois. More than 4 million Americans will not be able to afford their insurance at these high rates and be forced to forego health coverage for next year. Merry Christmas. Senate Democrats have sounded the alarm bell about the need to prevent this catastrophe. We've told the stories of people who called our offices crying because they're afraid they won't be able to afford their health care next year. We've shared reports from farmers, small businessmen, rural hospitals who rely on these tax credits. The only thing left to do is vote. The question is whether 13 Republicans will not endorse the Affordable Care Act, but will stand by the people who face these premiums and then be willing to sit down and have a meaningful bipartisan debate on where we should go as a matter of policy. Isn't that what the Senate is all about? Every Senate Democrat is united behind a plan just to extend the ACA enhanced premium tax credit and ensure continued access to quality, affordable health coverage. Republicans are not united behind any plan. They haven't been for 15 years. The Republicans hate Obamacare like the devil hates holy water. They can't imagine voting for it. What I ask them to do is hold your nose if you don't like it, vote for it today with the promise that you have the power as the majority party in the Senate to introduce a bill and start a meaningful debate in the appropriate committees. It's your authority. You're in the majority. We need 13 of you today to join us and show the bravery that Senator McCain did in that early morning hour. Otherwise, it will not be those here in the Senate who will remember this vote, not only those in the Senate, it'll be millions of Americans who saw their senators take their health insurance away. I want to face this friend of long, many, many years who's this waitress in this restaurant and tell her we not only had a chance to help her, we did help her. Let's do that together and then go home and decide what we're going to do as a matter of policy and bring that message back to the Senate for real deliberation. I yield the floor.